Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and today in this video I am going to show you how to deploy a Windows Server 2016 RDS, which is remote desktop services from in Microsoft Azure. So basically I am going to show you the deployment type is a session host deployment uh, in Azure, Microsoft Azure on a Windows Server 2016. So by this diagram you can have a look like we are going to have one Active Directory infrastructure which is going to be created during the RDS farm deployment automatically, and then we are going to have our file server, and we are going to have our RDS licensing server, and here is the session host server where I'm like the end user is going to logged in when the like client computer, tablet or mobile phone they are going to connect. They are going to connect with these session host servers. So the front end for the end user going to have a RD web access, and they are going to access this web access with the help of this RD gateway, which is going to provide a gateway between the external and internal your network. So when the user is going to request to RD web access, they are going to connect to the gateway, and then the gateway will connect to the RDS connection broker, and connection broker will redirect the clients to this session or servers to get the access to these servers. So this is the same way how RDS work in your on-prem environment. This is not going to change. The basic deployment type and everything is the same. It's not going to change anything. So here we are. We are going to deploy. Basically, I'm going to deploy only required servers in a farm. So you can see I'm going to have a 4 virtual machines here. The first virtual machine, all the 4 virtual machine we are going to deploy on Azure. So the first virtual machine is going to be a ADVM. This is the Active Directory virtual machine, which is going to host a Active Directory and DNS role, and my domain name which I'm going to use here is victor.com. And you can see the public IP means the public IP address which server required a public IP or not. So you can see in a ADVM here you can see public IPs, and the gateway server is a RDS gateway server which we are going to get the authenticated from the RD web page to get the access to the users. And here you can see we have this machine also going to have a public IP. And this is a connection broker server which name is broker, and this is also in a vector.com. And this machine you can see basically broker and the session host server is not going to have a public IP address, because this machine is basically a backend of our RDS infrastructure. So these machines, the RDS session host server and this broker, is not going to get the public IP address, and the gateway and the ADVM is going to get the public IP. So let's start deployment, and we'll see how it's going to do. So if you go to Google, you can find there was multiple template is pre-created to deploy RDS from in the Azure, but I don't want to go and use those template. We want to create template, so you are also able to understand how you can create a template for this RDS farm deployment. So I'm going to click on all resource, and here you can see I to click on add. When I click on add, you can see here Azure Marketplace is going to show up, and I'm just going to type here RDS. When I click RDS, you can see here remote desktop services, basic web dev and test environment is there. I'm going to click on it. So you can see this is the same diagram which I have on my presentation slide. It's the same diagram. So I'm going to click here. You can see here what it's going to deploy. This deployment create a small footprint RDS deployment which having the component, one domain controller, 2 RDS infrastructure VM, and this is going to have a RDSH VM which is going to call, and public IP address and other required network component after completing. So this is the some information what is RDS and what we are going to have. So we'll see how we can customize this. So I'm going to click on simply create. So now you can see it's going to give you the basic component where you have admin username. So I'm going to put here RDS admin, and I'm going to type my password here. And confirm the password. So you can see I have a free trial, so I'm going to use existing. I having the existing form, so I'm going to use this RDS. If you want to create anything, you can go ahead and create a new form. So I'm going to use the existing one, RDS resource group, and location I'm going to use in Central US. That's fine. Click OK. And now you can see the domain and networking settings. So public IP address name, you can customize it if you want. So I'm going to type here, just make it simple, gateway PIP, means gateway public IP, and you can customize it to the static, or you can go ahead and dynamic. So I'm going with the default one, which is dynamic. And here you can see we have a DNS name label, so I'm going to use here Victor info sol, and I'm going to put here, like, you can type here, and I'm going to use the domain name, which is called Victor. And our slide you can see my domain name is Victor. So basically when we put this information here, like the victor.com AD name, so it's going to deploy our ID infrastructure AD server with the name victor.com. so we are going to have a fully functional Active Directory server with domain name Victor. So we'll see how it's going to deploy. Good to go. Click OK. And now we can see we have RDSH and VM settings. So if you see here, we have a two option. Either we can go with the Windows Server 2012 R2 data center, or we can go with the Windows Server 2016 data center server. So I'm going with the data center server. So in 2016 data center server, in my screen you can see I'm going with the one session host server. So I'm going to put here one session host server. So if I click here, you can see I'm going to have a one RDSH VM, which is session host. So I'm going to change the setting. I'm not going to deploy standard A4 V2. So I'm going to select here, because I'm using the free infrastructure, so I'm going with the one CPU. Okay, and I'm going RDS infrastructure VM, so it's going to have two VMs, one for gateway and one from connection broker. So I'm going to use the same one, this one. Either I can go with the D1 V2. Same, I'm going to select for my AD virtual machine. So at last we are going to have a 4 virtual machine, same as my slide. One for the Active Directory, which is this VM, and 2 for the RD infrastructure, which VM, which is going to be a gateway and broker server, and the last one is our RDSH, which is our this connection session host server. So we are good. I'm going to click on OK. Now you can see it's running the validation now. It's going to give you all the information what we are going to do now. So validation passed successfully. So now you can see we have a basic option here, subscription, free trial, resource group, these all the information, and our domain name, our DNS name label. So you have to make sure you have a registered DNS name if you want to publish it on over the internet, because these machines are going to session host server users are going to log in from internet. So you have a valid DNS name, and we are good to go now. Click OK. And also you can go in back, and here you can see basically if I go here and download template and parameter, if I click here, you can go here and you can see all the deployment, all the things which we have selected during this deployment type. So what it's going to do, basically you can you can download this template and you can save it and you can share with anyone if you want to share this template. So I have downloaded it, so I'm going to click on deploy. So this is all the infrastructure which we have selected, and now I'm going to click on, you can see template, it's having total 19 resources which it's going to create. So I'm going to click on deploy purchase. So it's going to say some error. Okay, I have to use my existing infrastructure, RDS, RDS. So now it's good, look good, and let's click on purchase and see if it's going to submit the deployment. So you can see it's initializing the deployment and submitting the deployment. If I click on here, you can go and see what's going on. So deployment in progress, and now if I click here, you can see what it's creating. So you can see it's deploying, and the duration, it's 11 seconds for now, and the connection ID, you have all the information which you require. So I'm going to click on refresh. You can see it's 27 seconds and it's deployed few virtual networks, and it's deploy some storage account and availability set. If I refresh again, you can see it's deployed few more things. Load balancer, it has been deployed and it's creating the deployment. And now you can see here it's creating the ADVMs, means it's creating the virtual machine for Active Directory, and a storage account has been created. So this all the process for the deployment till the everything is done for us to go live. It's going to take like around 30 minutes to 1 hour. It's depend on the size of VM which VM we have selected. So we have selected the minimum VM VM size here, so it's going to take some time to get the deployment everything done. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the recording for now. Once we have a fully this deployment is completed, I'm going to resume from there, and I'm going to show you how we can verify everything and we can use this RDS form after the deployment. So I'm going to pause the recording for now. So now you can see I'm resuming my video, and you can see the deployment is succeeded. If I go to here, go to resource group, or you can click here deployment successfully, you can see here what we have. So you can see it's created few availability set, load balancer, and network interface, 4 network interface for 4 servers, and it's created public IP, 2 public IP, 1 for gateway, 1 for AD, and it's created 2 storage account, and we have 4 virtual machine. As discussed earlier on the slide, we have a 4 virtual machine, 1 for ADVM, 1 for connection broker, 1 for gateway, and 1 for session host servers. So this is all the machine, and now I'm going to take you to the virtual machine page. So you can see I have 4 machines here, ADVM, and these are all 4 machines. If I click on ADVM, you can see I having this connect button here, means this machine having a public IP address. You can see this machine having public IP address, and same way if I go to connection broker, as I told you, this machine is not going to have a connect button because it don't have public IP. So the public IP is configured on gateway and ADVM only. So let's verify on a gateway. So if I click on gateway, you can see this machine also having public IP, and if I go to RDSH, you can see this machine don't have any public IP. So this is verified. We have a 4 virtual machine, 2 with a public address and 2 without public IP address. So one thing I want to say, So one thing I want to show here, you can see this AD virtual machine and gateway having the public IP address, which I'm going to make static, so it's not going to change when I reboot the machine, otherwise it's going to change. So I'm saving the settings. Now I'm going to change the setting on my this virtual machine, the gateway, to just make sure the machine address now is getting changed. So go here and static, I'm going to save it. So now you can see both the IP address settings has been saved and we are good with the IP address. So when we reboot the Active Directory or gateway, it's not going to change the IP address. And now I want to connect with AD virtual machine and then gateway to just verify everything is good there. So I'm connecting with the AD virtual machine first, and now I'm going to put my password here to connect with this machine, and now I'm going to connect with the gateway. I have logged into this AD virtual machine. You can see it's having Active Directory and DNS role. Let's connect with the gateway. So I have to put my password, so domain name, which is Victor, and my admin account, RDS admin, and the password for RDS admin account. Now I'm going to connect with these machines. So now I can see, let's show you what is we have in Active Directory first. So smarter size. Okay, so if I go to Active Directory server, you can see Active Directory and DNS is there, and I'm going to open Active Directory users and computers to just show you what we have. So if I go to computers, you can see we have a gateway, we have a broker, and we have a session host server. And if I go to users, you can see I having my admin account here, which is RDS admin, which is a built-in domain admin. If I double click on it and show you the member of, you can see it's a administrator, domain admin, enterprise admin, schema. So everything, this is a main account. So basically when you deploy this RDS farm on Azure, you need to make sure you remember this credential, because this is the most important credential which you are going to use in your RDS farm to access the AD gateway or any other server if you don't have any account. So I'm going to create few test account here. So I'm going to create user 01 first. I'm going to create one more account here called user 02. I'm going to set the password here. So here we go, and now we are done with this, and now I am logged in my gateway server. If I go here, I can see few services not running. I am going to start these services manually. So I have started the service, everything looks good. If I go to remote desktop services, you can see there was no RD connection broker in this pool, so we need to add all the servers here. So I'm going to click on add all servers, and I'm going to add my all the servers here. So manage, add servers. I'm going to search my gateway and connection broker, SS server and broker. So it's going to have both machines now. So you can see I have all three machine added here. So now I should able to open this. So you can see here I am able to open this RDS form, and I have a desktop collection. If you go here, you can see I have a session host server here, and I have no session running on this machine for now. So everything looks good here. can see this is desktop collection and the type is session, and you can see we have a broker server where we have installed RD connection broker. On a broker we have also RD licensing, and a gateway server working as a RD gateway, and we have two separate role. One is RD, one is the RD web is also installed on gateway, and we have this session host server as well. So now I want to access this portal, my RDS infrastructure from outside or internet for the client to just verify. So I'm going to type here https:// I need the IP address of my gateway server, so I'm going to click here is my gateway server. So I'm going to copy this IP address first. I'm going to put here, and I'm going to put RD web to access the portal. So you can see, click to continue that this website is not recommended because we have no certificate on a gateway server. If I go here, I want to show you. On a certificate, we don't have any certificate installed. So if you want to ignore this certificate error, you need to install this certificate on your gateway server, and then you will not receive any like certificate error here. So now I'm going to log into RD web by user account which we have created. So Victor is my domain, and I'm going to put my username and password here. Okay, so you can see I'm able to log in, and I have this desktop collection pool which was created, and I'm going to open this. So everything is looking good. We are able to connect to the connection broker server. So we have everything up and running, and if you want to see how we can browse the setting of the connection broker or other servers, I'm going to take you to the small tool here. I logged in on broker server. So everything is here, we are good to go, and now I'm going to just restart these services which was not a start, to give all green on a dashboard. So here we go, everything is clean. So if you want to modify the setting here, we can. I'm a connection broker. I have added all the two servers like gateway and session host server in this collection and the server, and then I'm able to browse it, and you can see if I want to modify any settings, I can go here and I can modify the settings. Like if you want to modify RDS on Azure, and if you apply here, the setting is going to save, and I just want to verify the same here. So I'm going to refresh this. You can see the settings is being replicated. So also the same way, if you want to enable the enable anything or disable or change any setting, you can go here and add the setting, and you can go here also to edit the deployment type. You can always see your what is your gateway gateway address, the licensing server which you have installed on this server itself, and you have a web access, and later on you can also install your certificates on gateway server for a gateway and connection broker to have a secure communication. Also if I go to tools, server manager, you can see we have a license manager, license diagnoser, and the gateway is also there. So let me take you to the here, and you can see here we have no active license. So what we need to do here, we have to make sure we have to get the licensing activation from Microsoft to get the everything working fine. So this is all about how we can deploy Windows Server 2016 RDS remote desktop services farm in Azure. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos, and if you have any query, any question on this, you can post me on my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.